We're here at Colchester Aprilia. Nick Morgan and Naomi Morgan from MSS Performance are going to take the brand new Aprilia Rs660 onto the dyno for its first test. Let's see what it can do.
First graph here is a bog standard Ninja 650, 2019 model, pre-map, pre-anything. So just literally out of the crate, ready to go.
Yeah. Now,
the second graph, which I'll highlight for you, which is probably the most interesting direct comparison, is your Colchester Aprilia's Rs660 out of the crate. Okay, it's done a little bit of mileage.
Not many, but
it's not done many, but it's running so that obviously you don't void any warranties. And so consequently, it's probably still not at its best.
Yeah.
But you can just see by the difference there. That is up to 93.92 horsepower over the Kawasaki Z650 Ninja, which is 64.18. Is it a fair comparison? It's really difficult to say, but when you're looking at two 650 bikes, you can see the amount of work they've actually put into this to get it as a super sport bike, as opposed to a conventional twin cylinder, everyday road bike. So then the third graph, which you can see here, this is a super twin capable of winning a big road race. I mean, that's a podium bike at the TT, that would be good at the Northwest, those sort of events, big events, that would be very strong. And you can see there, that's at 98.39, so the Aprilia in standard trim is not too far behind it. And that's a 25 grand super twin. That's not out the box. That's
impressive then from this.
That's amazing.
What, 5? Not even 5.
Yeah, just 4.5 horsepower.
4.5 horsepower.
Full blown
off a full TT ready winning.
Potentially winning, yeah. Super twin bike.
Kawasaki 650.
Yeah. And that's had 25 grand chucked at it. Okay, included in the price of the bike, but
yeah.
You can see from that that's strong. That's really good. I never expected to see that. I thought it was a load of hype, because you read it, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's 100 horsepower at the crank, it's this, it's that, it's the other. But that's a bog standard Rs660, and it's 93.92 horsepower.
Impressive.
Just with a bit of clean air wafted at it. Amazing. Really amazing.
For 10 grand.
For 10 grand, even better.
Yeah.
You see these small dips here, these dips and troughs that you've got.
Yeah.
You see, you're going to get rid of those. Once you get in, it's got a cat on it the size of a small bus. So just for instance, just by removing the cat, and putting a decent race exhaust, and they probably like something from Spark or something similar to that, you'll get all these little problems here, they're going to be ironed out.
So what do you think it could do?
I don't see any reason with a bit of fuel in, a decent exhaust, and something to make it breathe a bit easier, like a decent air filter, something like that. Nothing else. I think you're looking at a genuine 100 horsepower motorbike, easy, all day long. All day long, probably more.
For little spend as well.
Very little spend, 10 grand.
Yeah.
To get to, 10 grand's a lot of money, but to get something comparable, you're looking at 25,000 quid. Okay, you've got to do other bits and bobs, but let's just talk about the base product. It's just amazing, it really is. Honestly, and it's got an auto flipper, it's got a quick shifter and everything else to go with it standard. Even niceties like a TFT dash and bits and bobs like that, that just come with it. Fantastic.
So to do that on the dyno, we did disable certain functions, didn't we?
Yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, you can go into the dash. There's various modes that you can go into, which we've gone into the time attack mode, I believe. Yeah. So and basically what it does, in so many words, it disables the rear wheel speed sensor, so that we don't have anything intruding from traction control or anything like that. So that is literally what it's got. Is what it's got. So everything's turned off basically.
And whilst we were running it, it had service and other bits flashing up, but that's probably because the rear wheel's spinning, front wheel isn't, so it's really confused. So when you're looking at the clock during that, it's just because it's not on the road, basically.
Yeah, basically. I mean, although it's disabled the rear wheel speed sensor, the bike still knows it's running. It still knows it's going along, although it's not going anywhere. So it comes up with various alarms and things. But I'm sure in the fullness of time that they'll be able to be disabled for racing use, and you can retain everything else for your road bike.
So would you be happy putting this in a class on the racetrack this year? You think it'd do well?
Yeah, I think it would. Yeah. I mean, it's for what we look at in super twin racing and stuff like that. I think it's definitely going to be the new kid on the block, without a doubt. It really is. And even for short circuit, track day, stuff like that. You're going to have potentially over 100 horsepower in a chassis which is more than capable of taking 150 horsepower. So it's going to work, it's going to handle. You've only got to look at the brakes and the suspension. It will just be a fantastic track day bike.
And MSS Performance, you've got one upstairs that you've taken some bits off.
Yeah.
What are you trying to develop with that?
Basically, what we're trying to do, we're trying to make it more user friendly for the racer. So for TT riders Northwest, because that's sort of specifically where we specialise in those super twin races. So it's just making the bike. We've got to get bodywork made. We've got to get various bracketry.
But how good does it look?
Oh, amazing!
As a bike, when it first turned up, I remember getting it out of the crate, and we were amazed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it looks fantastic. It really does. And you haven't got to create anything. Aprilia have done a marvellous job with the aesthetics of the bike, and it's typical Italian. It's got beautiful sleek lines. It looks fantastic, and it's functional. So you've got a decent screen. You've got all the aerodynamics. You've even got these sort of winglets that are sort of incorporated into it nowadays, which is all the big trend with the super bikes and things like that. So fantastic. So from our perspective, we're not going to reinvent it. There's nothing to reinvent. You can literally just mould off it, get it working, decent suspension, good exhaust, and away you go. I'm not going to say it's that simple, but that's what it looks like at the moment. Fantastic. Quite excited. That's f***ing brilliant.